you know what, the damn thing is, you got to be serious about making a picture.
Ultimately, the overriding factor was the mad, sort of passionate compulsion to make this first feature. The communal experience is always important. You can make a film on a camera the size of that doorknob and still show it to 1,600 people in an audience. It's still a great communal experience, you know.
When I was at NYU, I knew I was a director. I felt I was a director, and I knew I was, but other people didn't take me that seriously.
But for example, when Taxi Driver was given to me to read by Brian De Palma, I hadn't done Mean Streets yet, and so, but he said, you'd be great for this. And automatically, I mean, there had to be an emotional connection to the material and to the characters. The obsessiveness of Travis Bickle, the sense of being the outsider and not being the dispossessed. That's how we felt that way. I mean, myself, and I could speak for De Niro to a certain extent because we didn't articulate it that way. I can't really say, we're outsiders. We were trying to get in. But certainly Taxi Driver, when you got that, I said, this one has to be made. And we just knew it.
And ultimately, I realized that visually, we should pretty much see everything from Travis's point of view. Not anybody else's thought process or frame of mind really enter into the film. And this would isolate him more and put you more on his side, so to speak. Not that we were looking for that, but meaning that it just seemed to me, no matter what the character is, that you're going along the journey with that character. You may like the character, you may not, but it's just that you're interested in the character.
It's not just movies. They're not just movies to me. They're, in many respects, having had asthma, my father taking me to the movie theater constantly because I couldn't play sports or anything. He never really talked to me very much when I was a kid. And so that was a way of talking. It was a way of experiencing emotion, of feelings. If I wanted to say I loved you to him, which I didn't, it was through that film, you see. And same way with him to me. And my mother to a certain extent also, my older brother too. And so in a funny way, they're not just movies to me. It was a way of expressing emotion and a way of learning a little about life. And we try to find the truth in those things, and because the truth is enjoyable and painful and a lot of fun. I know that people say, well, yeah, that Age of Innocence is a picture where it's not going to be representative of the kind of work I've done normally. But I want to learn something too as a director. And as long as I can have some sort of an umbilical cord of emotional resonance, some way in which I could feel what those characters are feeling, then I don't care what they're wearing. I don't care what age it takes place in.
As a self-confessed working-class person, did you have the confidence?
Oh, I was a working-class person, but it never worked. Yeah. My parents did the working. They gave me money to go to school. Yeah. I had asthma. I was taken care of.
But one of the things about working-class people... I
didn't even take care of it. I left. I said, come on. I was like a crazy filmmaker. I wanted to make movies.
But there's this issue of confidence. So many working-class people maybe don't have don't think that their voice is important enough to be heard by everybody.
I don't know why. You're absolutely right. I have no idea why I thought... I just was burned with the passion of these moving images and the emotions I saw growing up around me, and to sort of combine the two. I don't know how else to do it.
Visual literacy was what was happening at that time to me. I did not understand that was happening. What it made me realize was that there was an intelligence, another kind of intelligence, that was trying to tell a story through where the director, the writer, and the cinematographer, where they were focusing your eyes. Whether it was the camera may be on an extremely low angle, looking up at you. The use of the lens, the size of the lens. I began to understand certain lenses interpreted the story differently. A longer lens crushed everything together and made it flat. A wider lens stretched everything and sometimes distorted it, especially at the camera movement. I learned looking at certain pictures, particularly Wells's films, and William Wyler, too, a wide-angle lens. Wells used that wide-angle lens, 18 millimeter, it turns out, very often, to move along the walls, move along, and you really felt, I felt as if the camera was flying, as if the story was flying by, you know. I didn't know why until I kept seeing the films again and again, and as I began to know a little more about what filmmaking was like and what cameras did, and that's, I still didn't know who made the pictures, you know, but I was beginning to understand there are certain tools you use, and those tools become part of a vocabulary that's just as valid as that vocabulary that is used in literature.
Ultimately, the overriding factor was the mad, sort of passionate compulsion to make this first feature. And when you do it, you just throw everything up there that you know, and you don't worry about being polite. Just show it the way who you are.
I'm not a director who could do a theater piece out of Eugene O'Neill or Shakespeare. There may have been a time I could have, but what is that? Is that my experience, really? And I found it over the years to be more comfortable to be dealing with what I think is something of my experience.
She's a shovel right around here somewhere. Just keep quiet, I don't want to wake her up. You know. Oh, hey.
Yeah, look who's here. Look who's here.
Hey, Mom, what's going on?
What are you doing? What happened?
No, nothing. I hit something on the road. Give me a thing.
What happened, Jim? What happened?
It's kind of comfortable at times to do stuff that you feel you intrinsically know. If it's three men in a social club having espresso, I know that. I know that. What I mean is know, at least in terms of body language, dialogue, no dialogue, looks. Make your own industry. Recreate movies. Don't pay attention to the industry. Do your own thing. I mean, put it this way. You want the work to be seen, but it doesn't have to be at the Odeon. You know, no more. That's all different. That's all gone. It's another ancient world. That type of film, or not even that type of film, the communal experience is always important. You can make a film on a camera the size of that doorknob and still show it to 1,600 people in an audience. It's still a great communal experience. You know, it doesn't necessarily mean it has to cost over $100 million.
You see, when Cassavetes did Shadows in 1958, 59, in 16 millimeter black and white, he just broke open all the barriers. There were no more excuses for young people saying, oh, we can't get the money to make a film. He didn't need money.
Go make a movie. I mean, but what I'm saying is I think you want to express yourself in visual terms. How you would feed into the main industry of big budget action films, I don't know. That I don't know. But if you're burning to say something, you can use this. There's, at this point in time, there's no more excuses. You can utilize an iPhone to make a film. So go ahead.